I would love to see
What?
I'd love to see them take like country singers or like R&B groups and like for like all of like their tour like posters or whatever they make. I want all their names to be in like the heavy goth metal like font.
Oh yeah, the one that's all like Bleeding Cowboys.
Now playing Leanne Rhymes. And it's like I would love to see
Toby Keith in the Metallica font.
Yes,
Yeah.
but more like
Striper,
like Cannibal Corpse.
Ooh, those real dark,
like real dark,
that literally look like it's made of like decaying flesh.
You can't read them. You literally don't know what the band's name is. You're like,
That'd be hilarious.
Cool.
I think
Lines.
It'd be pretty hilarious to see them take. Well, they're doing all these like all the movies are doing with the '80s theme now. I think it'd be hilarious to see them take all like pop music stuff and go back to like 80s hair metal.
Oh man,
like Striper, right?
Oh, Striper was just the worst.
They had one good song that for censorship reasons we can't sing on this radio program.
To heck with the devil. To heck with the devil.
Dirty, unqualified, probably indistinguishable from rambling. Welcome to the A&D Show.
Hello and welcome to the A&D Show. I'm David.
I am Austin.
And we have quite the doozy of an episode for you today because, drum roll please, the Lotto just got paid out.
South Carolina, $1.53 billion.
$1 billion.
One-time payout of $940 million. If you factor out 44% for taxes, which is probably pretty close to accurate between state and federal, yep. You're looking at the area of $500 million.
$70 million. 570, wasn't it?
Like that.
530.
500's plenty.
I had a friend that said that if you paid, I think it was if you spent $600-some thousand, right? No, I think, yeah, it was $600-some thousand on Lotto tickets. And you bought, no, he said if you paid, I'm messing this up. He said if you bought one of every combination of Lotto numbers, you would spend $600-some thousand, right?
No, $600-some million, because there's 348 possible draw, 348 million possible draws. The problem is it's $2 a ticket, so you're looking at $700 million. That's
what it was. So you're looking at he said, I think it was $700 million or whatever, and he said that the payout of this last Lotto was only $570, and he said if you did that with this last Lotto and you won, and you were the only winner, and you took the lump sum, then you would still come out in the red, $35 million.
In theory, you could have bought half of the possible combinations and just roll the dice. Said, I got a 50% chance I want to win the lottery today. Yeah. And you would have come out, you
probably would have broke even.
$150 million in the bank. Not too bad.
Still.
But if you lose, oh boy,
you lose real big.
Real bad.
I think I saw a video on YouTube, speaking of the lottery, and it was about those scratch-off tickets, right? And
man, listen, when I was a kid, sidebar here, when I was a kid, and really actually I think even 2 years ago, my grandma, God bless her, love her to death. She's how
do you do Graham Grams?
She's a grandma. She doesn't listen to the podcast.
Mine do. Both of them.
Well, that's good. Hey, Grandma
Hello,
David.
Nana and Mima.
She would buy scratchers for all of us kids. It was a great thing.
Yeah.
So she would buy scratchers. It was great.
Yeah.
It was I remember I was a kid. I got scratchers for my birthday. I was 6 years old.
Did you win something, son of Jim?
I won $25 on the bingo scratcher. So thank you, Grandma.
# big money.
It's $25 when you're a kid is that's like hitting the lottery, bro. That's like you get $25 when you're a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I'd get $40 every other weekend for my dad. He'd give me $40. It's man, that lasted so long.
Yeah.
It was just all the money.
Now you get a bunch more money than that, and it's gone.
You can rent a video game for 3 days for $3, and you didn't do that for 3 days. Not anymore. Shoot.
Now it's $60, and you don't get to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So I was watching this video the other day, right? This guy, speaking of scratch-offs, this guy goes and he spends, I think it was like $10,000 on scratch-offs, and he scratched them all off, and he only won like $8,300. But he won $8,300. But he lost.
He lost $1,700.
$1,700.
That's the problem. Is it in these like for instance scratchers? If you look at the ticket, I think I was reading that the average scratcher pays out like one at a, basically 20% of the time. So if 5 people go buy a scratcher, one person will get their money back. That's your basic odd. That's basically your odds. And so it's not great.
I think they said that the odds of like getting eaten by a great white shark in the exact fashion that you see in Jaws is more likely to happen to you than to win the lottery.
You're much more likely to do a whole lot of things. You're much more likely to die in a plane crash. But guess what? The idea of $1.53 billion was quite alluring to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the whole point of today's episode. Why? Because we are going to deliberate and share with the world. We've done this before. In the Welcome to the Podpocalypse episode, we talked about our plans for the apocalypse. So now you know our plans for the apocalypse. If you haven't heard that episode, go ahead and click through and listen to that one. That's a fun one for all of you viewers, listeners, viewers with your ears.
Coming to your house, Margie. We've already discussed this.
Yeah. And now, today, we are going to discuss and deliberate at length our plans if we were to win, if we were to have won, or if we were to win in the future this lottery. And when I say at length, buckle in, because this episode is exactly 7.5 hours long.
Seems like it might be too long.
Eat your heart out, Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
It seems way too long. I got to work in the morning, I'm going to be honest.
Everybody that's listening to this episode already has looked at the time code, and I'm like, suckers, made you look, because it's only like 39 minutes.
That seems specific.
Maybe 42 minutes.
The
47
question,
and a half?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. The question boils down to, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow morning and you found out that you had just won, basically, you take home $500 million?
First thing I would do would be call everybody that knows me well enough to find out who it was that drugged me and made me buy those tickets in the first place.
I am going to call every single one of my ex-girls, be like, hey, how do you like me now?
How do you like me now? Speaking of country music.
I will find those high school crushes that didn't pan out because
all the gold diggers.
I was a geeky little nerd kid.
Same. I wasn't little, but I was definitely a geeky nerd kid.
True.
So, yeah, on the reels though, for me, I think what we should do for our listeners is we should share our legitimate, actual ideas. Like, what would we, if we were responsible adults, what would we do with $570 million in lump sum?
If you're smart.
And then we'll share our crazy idea.
Well, if you're smart, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to immediately set up residence in Florida.
I'm going to retire immediately.
I'm not joking. Florida has no state income tax.
Oh, that's a fair point.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to find a place in Florida that you can immediately get into and make that a residence.
Fair. So you don't have to pay taxes on it.
And that's where you claim the ticket from. That's from Florida. Florida is I believe Florida is one of the mega million states. So your first thing you want to do is you want to set residence there, because that will probably save you, $100 million probably.
You're right.
That's a huge savings.
It's a big deal. Well, I think you get.
Sorry, I was sneezing. I was trying to hold it in.
There's a nice long pause and nice long silent pause.
It's not great for radio quality.
I think my first choice would be to spend $1 million.
Why not? Just blow it on stupid stuff.
No. Listen. This is not. Gosh. We're not on the crazy ones yet. This is legitimate, right? because $1 million would pay off every debt of every family member I have.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Whenever you don't make a ton of money, you can't really get yourself into enough debt that $1 million couldn't pay it off.
That's probably true.
I mean, okay, let's just break it down in real terms. Between myself, my brother, and my parents, I think cumulatively, we might, all four of us and our individual family units, might all four of us combined have a cumulative debt of maybe $150,000, maybe $200,000 if we're pushing it, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, $1 million, $1 million, one out of the $570 million that I just got awarded via lump sum would pay off every debt that my entire family owes, right?
Right.
First things first, problem solved.
So sweet.
Second thing would be give $350 in tithes. Just kidding.
It seems like a low number. To be honest.
I mean, obviously, pay tithes on it first. Let's back that up. Tithes on it first, and then take $1 million, pay it off those debts.
We discussed earlier about this, and I made the comment that most Christians believe that biblically speaking, that you're taught biblically to be a good steward of money.
Yeah.
And most Christians consider playing the lottery
going to the Lord.
Well, most Christians believe playing the lottery to not be a good steward of your money.
Right.
That said, I don't think there's any pastor or church in the world that would be like, no, we can't take that tithe check.
We can't take your dirty money.
We can't take your tithe. I'm sure that and rightfully so. I mean, a church could do a infinite amount of good work, in their community.
Even with $500,000. Yeah,
an infinite amount of good work in their community with that kind of money, and if not globally,
right.
That's besides the point.
Yeah. So
so it's like for me, first thing I'm doing is I'm setting up residence in Florida. Okay, I want to do that.
Right.
I've always wanted a Jeep. I love Jeeps.
Me too.
Jeeps are cool.
Jeeps are cool.
And
now that you're a multimillionaire,
really nice Jeep.
Well, you don't have to worry about 15 miles to the gallon,
right.
Or 15 gallons to the mile.
But the other thing I would do, and I know this will sound like really, really, really weird, is that I would just there's a part of me that when you get that kind of money, like you just want to shut everything down. Not be here. I would probably go into reclusive hiding.
Where?
I'm not telling you that because that's going to ruin the reclusive hiding.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think that it would honestly be hard to process when you first find out you've got this huge lump sum of money.
Your entire life changes, right?
Everything changes.
Now you want for nothing, you need for nothing. You could basically just go buy anything you wanted.
Probably the best part is that I have control over a corporate Verizon account, so I would just change my cell phone number immediately. I would not give it to anybody because that's the first thing I would do is have a new cell phone number. Ain't nobody calling me asking for money.
Just immediately, I am now blacklisting myself from the entire world.
Legally speaking, you can give anybody $15,000 tax free. So there's a bunch of people I'd give. I would give a lot of people $15,000. I would give my entire department at work, like everybody in IT, everyone in IT, the whole IT department would get $15,000 each.
The question,
because $570 million. Do you know what $15,000 times 70 people is? Not that much.
Not that much. Let me ask you this: the question I would want to know from your vantage point is, in this gifting of $15,000 to every person that you work with, right? Oh, I guess that we work with. What is your process behind that? Do you do that in an anonymous fashion? Do you do that so that they know that it was you?
Heck no, my name is on the check. They're going to know where it came from. They're going to know it came from Papa.
I think, personally, if I were in...
David, David went missing and just won the lottery. Oh, where did $15,000 come from? They know where it's coming from.
No. And here's what I would do. I would do everything that you're saying. I would do it. But I would do it except for the becoming a recluse. I want to stay where I was at, but I would also want to operate within that financial income anonymously, so that I could, because I think it'd be awesome to be able to gift people a $15,000 cash bundle to their person without them knowing where it came from, just to see their reaction. I think it'd be awesome.
I think that the first thing I would do for my life is I would be infinitely more charitable, and I consider myself a charitable person. I consider myself someone that helps others out, and gives financially, help others out where I can. At the same time, there's only so much money you can give away that because you have to take care of your family and your financial obligations. Yeah. I think that something like that kind of a windfall, you could be so infinitely charitable to those around you. I mean, you could literally fix the Flint water crisis yourself. You could literally fix a good portion of run down schools. That's another political issue altogether. But there's so much you could do with that kind of money.
Dig a bunch of wells in Africa.
To fix the world. And granted, you can't fix the world yourself. That's not possible. But you can help. And I love the idea of, because the thing is, if you took $50 million, okay, you put it in the bank. And live with the interest. And let's say if you go to a bank, you could probably negotiate your interest rate. You could probably get somewhere close to 5%. If you could get that for $50 million, they'll probably give you 5% interest rate on that easily.
Well, it's a huge lump sum to them. I'm sure that they would be willing to compensate.
So at that, 5% interest rate.
What is that? $25,000 a year?
No.
250
for $50 million.
It'd be $250 a year. $250K.
No.
Yeah, because 5%, 10% of that would be $500,000, right?
Hold on. Let's see. Now this is
$5 million, $2.5 million a year.
Right. So I got $50 million. Okay. And then let's say like that you're getting 5% off that. It's $2.5 million
a year to live on. Which, I mean, if you can't live here, let me just say this to the world:
that's a mere $6,800 per day.
Oh God!
If you can't live on $7,000 a day, if $7,000 a day is not enough for you to get by,
then you should probably just move to Mars.
You could buy at least two 2011 Hyundai Elantras with 160,000 miles on them every single day and have your own demo derby. I mean, literally, just a bunch of Elantras in the backyard just crashing into each other.
You've thought about this, haven't you?
I hate my car. I hate my car so much. If anyone's looking for an okay-ish used car with a bunch of miles on it, hit me up.
Hit me
Elantra.
$3,200,
completely base.
$3,400.
Hope you don't like features, because that's what you're gonna get.
Okay. Well, I get you. So, okay. So yes,
but like I said, you could put $50 million in the bank and live off the interest easily, and use the rest to invest in others and build others up. Although I would say I would take a portion of that, and I would give some money to the University of Illinois Athletic Department, and I would have courtside seats forever. And I would also pay off Lovie Smith's buyout to buy out his contract and get a new football coach. I would figure out how much it would cost to get Nick Saban from Alabama coaching at Illinois. How many millions? I'm good. Let's go.
Can you audience listeners hear the pangs of my ears right now?
Know what I'm talking about. David has no clue what this is.
Sports.
Someday we're gonna do a sports episode. It would just be me talking and him just sitting there in dead silence. It'd be great.
Yeah, we're gonna do a sports episode. We're gonna have a special guest when we do that. It's gonna be great.
Be great.
I'm gonna be the commentator. I'm gonna be like the Madden. The John Madden commentating on the sports talk.
Good job on calling out John Madden. I'm proud of you.
Hey,
That's
I'm not
impressive.
a nincompoop.
So what else would you do with your?
Oh man,
70? I mean, like legitimate things, not like crazy things.
Not crazy things.
Crazy things is on the list of things I want to do with this money.
Well, I tell you what I would do. I would take a year off work. I wouldn't quit work. I wouldn't stop working. Maybe I would. I'll explain that in a minute. The first thing I would do would be take a year off of work. Whether I stick with my normal job or whether I create my own business, which I'll talk about in a second. But I would take a year off of working, and I would take a year to travel the world and see all the places that are on my bucket list. Like I have a list of locations across the world, several in the United States, several across the world, that I have been accumulating for a while. Places that I want to visit,
Right.
as like a bucket list kind of thing, right? And I would take that time to go visit those places.
Like what are those places?
Well, there's a number of them that I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me see if I can pull up my list. Hold on. There's a number of them I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's a place like several places over in like Arizona. Like I've never been to the Grand Canyon, right? Like I'd love to go to the Grand Canyon. There's a place over there called Horseshoe Canyon. That would be a really cool place to go to. That I'd love to go to. Here's my list. Antelope Canyon in Arizona, Devil's Tower in Wyoming, Redwood Forest in Northern California, Yellowstone, Yosemite, Zion National Park in Utah, Monument Valley, Shiprock, New Mexico. Those are all just places in the United States. Not to mention places like Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany. Right?
No.
Neuschwanstein Castle is one of the coolest. Listeners, if you haven't checked it out, look up Neuschwanstein Castle. It's Neuschw something Steen Castle. Look it up. It's a really, really cool, like mountain-based castle in Germany that is just absolutely dope. So, and I wouldn't just go visit. Like, I'd probably buy it. I'd probably just buy it. You know what? What's $100 million for the coolest place ever? Or maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would just go take a picture of it.
What makes you happy?
But the whole idea is I would drop about $8,000 on maybe $20,000. I'll drop $20,000 on camera equipment. Just buy all of my dream camera equipment. For those that don't know, shameless plug. I'm going to shout out L_C_media on Instagram. Check me out. That's my photography page. Shameless plug there. I do a lot of photography and video, and I would literally take a year off, drop $25,000-$30,000 on all of the best camera equipment that I could ever dream to have, and then go for a whole year on a photo excursion. Just go all over the world, all of my favorite places, all the places that I want to go, and just take pictures of everything.
I like that.
And just kind of backpack through Europe, go to places that you can't get to.
Right.
Unless you're a multimillionaire.
I would have a house in Destin, Florida.
It's very specific.
I love Destin. I love it.
I don't even know Destin.
And I would stay in this one, or I'd get a house in this one spot. I can't think of I forgot what the place is called. It's a spot that we've gone for the last couple of years. We get a house down there. Every September, that's what I just want to say in there. Like I would be down there like 6 months out of the year. I would just I would just live down there for the most part because you can do that. I'd build a house. I've always wanted to build a house from I want like a home theater in my basement, like really bad.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that's on my and I mean that's not like that's a legitimate thing. Eventually, I'm going to build a house as it is right now and. The same idea. I'm going to have a media room. I want like a whole on media room. I would probably, I said I want a Jeep. I also like a truck would be nice as well. I don't know. I don't need like a real like fancy sports car. I'd like a Jeep and a truck.
2018 King Ranch F350.
I'd like a GMC. But I want the GMC 1500, but I want the Denali package because I'm fancy. Because I got $590 million. But I mean, honestly, there isn't really, I would still live in this area. I would still stay in Central Illinois. I wouldn't, except for when I'm in Destin, of course. I would probably stay in the town that I live in. I don't know that I would leave the small town that I live in. I think I would just chill here.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I would do, just on the legit level, would be I don't think that I would quit my normal day job.
Oh, I would in a heartbeat.
I don't know. It just depends on how much I like
it. I told my boss, I'm like, listen, I'm like, if I ever win the lottery, like you're a great boss and all, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I am quitting that night. Like, I'm not even going to call in. I'm not going to come in the next day. Like,
I don't know. Like, it depends.
My stuff on my desk, you just keep it.
It just depends on like how much I like what I do. Like, if I were to, at that point, if I were to have a job that I loved it and I loved who I worked with and what I did, and I was able to keep under wraps what it was that I had just come into, all this money, and I was able to keep it at a level where I didn't have to worry about people like, bartering and stealing from me all the time,
right,
I'd probably still work there. I'd probably keep it. But I definitely would start my own business, right? And not a business intended to flat make me some money, because I would probably do like you say. I would drop 50 mil right, and as high interest savings as I could and live off the interest of that yearly.
I understand that.
But then I would also create a business that I could do all of the creative endeavors that I want to do without having to worry about the budget, right?
Right.
One of my favorite things to do is to make film. Love making videos, making film. Shameless plug to CT Studios on YouTube. If you haven't checked out the latest release from them, it is a short film called The Invitation. Check it out. It's really good.
Also check out...
We collabed with them, and we also did, the A&D Show did an interview video with the cast of that film, also on CT Studios YouTube channel. Check it out.
Beautiful videos, to be honest with you. It's
gorgeous. But I love doing stuff like that, and so one of the things that I would definitely do would be to build a film studio and a recording studio, and then I would fully staff it as long as I could manage it. And hopefully it would turn a profit enough that it would be self-sustainable and I wouldn't have to continually sink money into a pit. But I would probably do something like that specifically so that I could enjoy the fulfillment of creative expression in a collaborative environment.
Right. I get it. Like I said, I would have some semblance of a job. I'd probably have like one like dog rescue. That's what I would do. I'd be like these are all the dogs I have. Like, why do you have 97 dogs? I'm rescuing them.
I'm a rescuer.
So are you there for adoption? No.
No.
I'm rescuing them for me.
Selfish purposes.
They're mine now. That's where I would be in life. No, I can probably say that I would do something, probably dog related, like because you want to. You want to do something. I mean, you joke about it like I wouldn't work anymore. I think the average human being will probably get bored after a while. I'm not a good golfer. Like, I love the idea of being a golfer. Like, I would be better because I could golf more often, but I'm a garbage golfer. Like, I am the worst.
I just don't even like golf.
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd get me like a shuffleboard piece or shuffleboard plat and court, shuffleboard court in the back, whatever
field.
I'd have an indoor basketball gym. I don't know. I would do something cool, like with dogs, because I like dogs. Dogs are
cool.
All
right. Pretty allergic to them most of the time.
Well, yeah, it's because
I've been taking my medicine. We are, for those that are listening, at Studio 3 again, and our fuzzy little studio audience has not been so much of a problem this time because, good old Dave took his meds.
I read an article that Vince McMahon, who is the chairman and owner of the WWE, formerly of WWF, for those that are old like me, he believes that sneezing is a sign of weakness. Just for the record. So if you ever sneezing, not seizing, not like seizing up, like you're having
somebody's
a seizure.
like epileptic and they just fall over and have a seizure. He's like, weakling.
No, sneezing. So he believes that sneezing is a sign of weakness. So if you have allergies around Vince McMahon, if you're meeting Vince McMahon, take your Claritin before then, because that's you don't want to be weak around Vince McMahon.
Oh, Vince.
So anyway, this brings us to the better part.
The not a serious part.
What stupid things would you do with the money? Like, what dumb things would you do with the money?
Dumb things?
Dumb things.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about like, I'd buy a vat full of coins like Scrooge McDuck. I mean, like,
the vat full of coins.
What would you do with the money that you know you would do, but you'd be like, that's a stupid waste of money.
I would face my number one greatest fear in all of the world. And I would fly to outer space.
You would actually.
I would immediately purchase the most posh spaceship that I could.
Yeah.
I'd partner with Elon Musk, right?
You do know that if you did that, it would just be like, this is like a trial, and David wouldn't make it back from space.
Yeah, probably. But I would spend $583 million of the $590 million to get to outer space, hopefully, and back. And then I would take the other $7 million and I would probably give it to you.
You know, honestly,
like spend this on your dogs, right. Get them nicely groomed.
Thanks. You know, this sounds crazy. I would probably have a like. I'd get my new house built with all my land, and I would probably make it to where I would have like a Need to Breathe concert, like in the backyard. Like I would just like pay like Need to Breathe to come play at my house, like my own like private like bar mitzvah. But I'm not Jewish. But I would have Need to Breathe come. We'd do a party in the backyard, like a full on concert with them, and that would probably cost probably $300,000. I mean, I don't know what it costs to have like a major band come play at your house. Probably not cheap, but I'd do that. Like I would legitimately pay to have like a band like that come. Maybe Kid Rock could do it. He's not doing anything except for visiting President Trump.
Just shaking hands with President Trump.
No big deal. Rock. Just walk in the back here, be like, "Ba with the ba, da bang, da bang." It'd be awesome. It'd be so great. But I
just a full concert in your backyard. Imagine how legit that would be, though. Like
how cool that would be.
Here in small town America, you've got like this crazy full concert
in the backyard.
Yeah,
which would be really, really cool.
It'd be your neighbors probably wouldn't like that too much. Well,
no,
they might love
it. They're invited.
Well, I mean,
it's a housewarming party.
They might like it. You might end up having a whole bunch of. Here's the thing: like of all ways to announce to the world, look at me and my $590 million lottery I just won. That's probably one of the most baller ways.
To pay a band to come play at your house. Yeah, it's amazing.
And literally, okay, and if you were to do that, you'd have to walk out on stage with a gold-plated microphone that you hand to the person who's going to, but before you hand it to him, you walk in and be like, my name is Austin. I won $590 million, and I'm putting on this concert because I don't care, because I got boatloads of money, and drop the mic. And then you take a plated gold mic and just drop it, and the concert begins with an explosion of fire and smoke.
It's going to be very heavy. Gold's heavy.
Gold-plated, not solid gold.
Oh, okay.
It could be solid gold.
I would definitely start with that. I would definitely have a huge concert in the backyard, just because I can. Because why not?
I mean, if you're going to live it up, live it up.
I mean,
that doesn't really make any sense.
That's, and then I would also get like so here in the town that I live in, you can have golf carts to cruise around town in, and I would get the most pimped out. I mean, like I'm talking like I want a huge lift kit. I want all the lights on there.
So Tesla Model X, basically, which is basically a gigantic, expensive golf cart.
Yeah, but I don't want Tesla Model X. I just want a golf cart, but I want it pimped out.
Oh.
I would get just. I mean, it would look stupid.
Like 20-inch spinners on a golf cart.
It would be embarrassingly tacky. Like I mean, I want it to be tacky. Yes, I want it to be tacky and gaudy and just disgusting. And I would cruise around my town in that all day long.
I mean, if you're going to do it, do it.
Why not? Why not?
I would also buy a house for $300 million and burn it down.
That seems wasteful.
Well, I mean, it's crazy, right? I would also shave my head on public television.
What's the purpose of either of these? Are these fun?
It doesn't cost me anything. It's just a thing that I would do.
You're ruining everything for me right now. I would see you. I would see you as bald in a whole different light. Yeah. I feel like there'd be a different scenario.
Yeah, and that would just be something that it's just like a life goal for me to get on public television for all eyes in the world to be on me as I shave my head.
I would definitely like I'm a big sports guy.
Naturally.
David, you know this about me.
Unfortunately,
some of the
I do.
fans, some of the listeners know this about me. I wouldn't call them fans. Some of the listeners know this about me. I'm a big sports guy. I'm big into University of Illinois basketball. So, I would have courtside seats. I would just waste money on that. I could finally go to Lambeau Field. I've always wanted to go to Lambeau Field. I'm a big Packers fan. But the tickets are incredibly expensive and incredibly hard to come by. So I've never been able to go to Lambeau Field in my entire life, and I've always wanted to go, but I've never been able to go to Lambeau Field. So I would love to be able to go to Lambeau Field sometime.
I would also I'd also pay Tom Cruise to let me be a stunt double for him.
You're gonna get hurt.
But imagine, okay, since our last episode, we have both seen the new Mission Impossible.
Fallout. That was so
which,
good.
For the record, listeners, has earned every single one of the 98% it had on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was the best one.
It was
the best
fantastic. That being said, he actually did, Tom, I know you're listening. Props to you. Here's a high five. Come on, do it right. That was a high five for you, Tom. We high-fived on the podcast for you. And that high five was because of your halo jump. He did a halo jump.
It was impressive.
What was that, like 60,000 feet in the air or something like that? Just jumping out of an airplane. No big deal. Hey, my name's Tom Cruise. Jumped out of an airplane. So I would reach out to Tom and be like, Tommy boy, Tommy, listen, Tom.
I would for sure be interested in seeing Tommy Boy do that. I'd
Chris Farley doing a halo jump. Wearing a little coat.
God rest his soul. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what all I would do. I mean, I think that you can talk about what you would do. I know that for sure. I don't know that my life would necessarily change a whole bunch because I'm not. I've never been someone that needs to flaunt anything I've got, and I mean, I'm not. I have enough to get by. The idea of people that flaunt has always been something of a bit of a turnoff for me when it comes to people in general. The people that have their nose up,
boasters.
I don't understand the concept of flaunting wealth, and I mean, I've always, I tend to lean to the right politically. And I've always said that, I think that whatever people have, whatever audience. Probably, I've always said that whatever people can earn, by all means, that's theirs. Go for it. Good for them. But to me, there's always been a difference in what you can earn, and do you need to be boastful or braggy about it?
Yeah.
And I think part of that's just as a human being and really as a Christian, the boastfulness and pride of being kind of braggadocious is a bit of a turnoff in people.
Right.
And so, I don't know that my life would necessarily change a whole bunch. I would work less. I would spend more time with my family. I mean, we'd have nicer cars, I guess. But we wouldn't have anything. I don't know that I would need a Lamborghini or anything like that. I would just, I'd like maybe a Corvette and a truck. I mean, I just can't. I can't imagine a situation where where I would need to have stuff that's just this excessive amount of wealth.
Well, in that vein,
my life,
again, following in that thread of coming from a Christian perspective, which all of our listeners may not necessarily subscribe to that belief, right. But coming from that mindset, I think that there's a inherent value in anonymity in that regard, mm-hmm. and being able to give to people, and because I mean what we have on earth, even if you don't subscribe to the Christian faith and you don't believe in an afterlife of any kind, even if that's the case, your life on earth is temporal, and all of your possessions on earth are temporal, right? And so why would you, have whatever you want to have and be happy and find fulfillment in whatever you can or whatever, but at the same time recognize that everything you've got is going to fade at some point, right? So do something with it that matters. I think it's a safe assumption, and I think it's a safe statement, or the correct statement from this podcast, making it real right here near the end, that, listeners, if you should find yourself at a place where you win $590 million in the lottery,
Don't forget us.
don't forget about us, but also do something with it that's going to better the world.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That kind of money, even $500 and some million dollars.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't reasonably spend that in your entire lifetime.
No.
So
I know some people that probably could.
That's saying, there are pro athletes that have made tens of millions of dollars in their careers, and they're broke. It's almost dumbfounding how people can just burn through money. If you're even semi-responsible, you would not be able to spend that much money in your entire life, unless you're just literally lighting money on fire.
So the question is, what do you do to change the world? No, I'm not asking. I'm posing as rhetoric, because we are at that part of the show where we have to say thank you to our listeners for listening. First of all, for being here every couple of weeks with us. It means a lot to us. Comment in whatever form or fashion you can on our Facebook page, on our Instagram. Let us know what you think of our show, of the episodes, of this week's episode specifically. What would you do if you won the lottery? And show some love to our sponsor, KS Marketing, and Kenneth Strader over there doing some great work with the marketing things that he markets and things. And, we will, what? What'd you say?
What?
You didn't say anything?
No.
What do I hear? What is that?
That's actually the clock above the piano.
Oh, it's the ticking. That's what that
Why is
endless
that light
ticking
flickering?
is. I don't know. It feels like we're in the Twilight Zone.
It's great.
It was a good show.
It was a good show.
I watched this episode of the Twilight Zone one time. Old Twilight Zone from the 50s.
They're remaking that, just for the record.
And on the episode, it was we came in, like, my dad and I were watching it together. This is at a hotel or something, and it comes on the television, and my dad's like, or the guy is like crawling through like a bomber plane, right? And he comes up through this like tunnel thing, and he's crawling through, and he's like yelling at the top of his lungs. He's like, Jimenez, where you at, Jimenez? And my dad, just with all seriousness, looks at the television. He's like, it's Jimenez, you idiot.
Dads are the best.
And I'm like, way to go, Dad. You just called out this guy in racial profiling from 1950. A little late, but, I appreciate the effort. So.
But in your defense, it was Jimenez.
Huh?
It is Jimenez,
I know.
Jimenez.
Not Jimenez.
I feel like that's really bad on the Twilight Zone's part.
Well, it was like 1950. What do you expect? Back in the 1950s, there was no H sound with the J. Are we fading?
Happy Halloween, everybody.
What?